So as I've put this one aside so that this one could become a little bit firmer before I put the top part on here, I've decided to start working on this one again. All right. Now, when I first started doing this one, it got stored and it got kind of crushed, so I decided to just start it over. So I've made my base right here. Okay. And then I've created like a little flower factory, so to speak. Before I really start connecting things, I think it'll be easier. So you can see I've made a lot of petals, and just in the same way that I was showing you before. So just taking the petals, piece like this. And I don't even have to make, like, let's say a formal coil out of it. I just want to sort of get it into the cylindrical shape. And in that way, I can just break pieces off that are about the same size. So for instance, I can go like this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I know that these are all, actually, maybe this one here, going to be about the same size petal because, then I'm going to take and I'm going to roll it up like this, and this, etc., etc. Then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just sort of pinch the end a little bit. That's already setting it up for its shape, just like so. And if they're not perfect, that's okay. Okay, and so now I can just go ahead and start shaping that into more or less of that petal shape. And then I'll take it even one step further, doing it on the table here, because I want it to be flat. See, because I want to use that, as my construction as well as my ornamentation. So all at once. You might notice too that I've decided to make the flowers into 5 petals instead of 4. It just seemed to work out better. Alright, so I've got those. So then, once again, doing each one step at a time, I could go ahead, score those. Put them together. And then just push them together like this till I feel like they have combined really pretty good. I could then score the center a little bit. I'm going to add one of these guys here. I just made a little bunch of round balls, and I'll score that up a little bit. And push that down, and that's going to sort of hold that together a little bit. And later on, if I want to take a paintbrush or anything else to do a little bit of detail work on those, that's fine. There, and so then that's my flower. I could even then take it, turn it over, score it up. Real good, nice and deep. smooth it off. And that's become a nice little unit that I can put together like a building block to build it with. So I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch of these done ahead of time. And then I'll put them all together at once. And that's going to be a lot easier. Okay, so I've got my base right over here. And so, like anything else, I'm going to score where I attach. And let's see here. I'll go ahead and with this one right here, I'm going to get a little bit of extra clay just to throw in here or there to help shore things up. So I've got this here, and I can see where I could use just a little bit of extra clay right here. See, once again, it's kind of that cone shape. So I'll stick that here, and I'll stick this guy right here. And there, I've started building it already. All right, smooth that in a little bit. And then, who knows, maybe a nice little leaf shape here would be good. So that looks like it will about fit on its own. So I got that, and I'm going to score here where they're going to attach. So I've got that little leaf shape in there, and I'm going to score across right away, and also smooth that out a little bit. Okay, so here I'm going to put another flower, this time the smaller one right here, and I can see where it could use a couple little pieces of clay. So right here, just score that, score a little bit in the back here. I can just wedge that in, and I can score where this is going to attach right here, and everywhere, here, here, etc. Fit that in. You can see I can use a little bit more clay right here. So I'm just going to get a little bit. And later on, a little bit here. Later on, we might use some of the berry shapes to also wedge in there and add a little bit more support. And so in the back here, where these are all sort of loose, you know, before I go too much further, I'm just going to score across those, just kind of mushing them together really is what I'm doing. And then smoothing it back out, making it into one solid strong piece. As needed, I might even take where I can see where it's a little bit thin, here and there, and I can just add a little bit of clay into that. Score it up first, and pushing from the center out, always from the center out. That way you don't trap air bubbles underneath. So like here, for instance, you can see it, and I'll just put a little bit of extra clay right in there, and from the center of this, out. And that's what making this wall a little bit more consistent. Just like the others, I'll build this up a little bit, and then I'll show you the results. Okay, well I just finished this one here, and I wanted to show you the results. So as you can see from the drawing, it's more or less even across the top. Well, as I was working it, I kind of fell in love with asymmetry. And so here's the result. On the one hand, it's very much like the drawing. But on the other hand, I like the way that it's gotten a little bit more creative and has a very uneven top. The other thing too is that unlike the other ones, this one is always going to be seen from the inside here. If I use this as any kind of a serving bowl or anything like that. I suppose if I put a plant in it, well yeah, you won't see the inside of it so much, right? But if I use it as any kind of a serving bowl, then you will see it. So even though I've smoothed it out a little bit now, I won't take the time to show you this, but of course, what I would do is I would give that a sanded smooth, a sanded smooth, perfect finish in order to make it, just finishing it up, making it nice. All right, well, that's the composite ones. I hope that you've enjoyed it.